Let's talk about the verb to have. In Dutch, that is hebben. Hallo lieve vrienden. So the verb to have is hebben in Dutch, and this is a very important verb to learn because it's not only a verb by itself, but it's also an auxiliary verb next to the other auxiliary verb that is to be, that is zijn. So those two, as you've learned in the special lesson about those two auxiliary verbs, to have and to be, hebben and zijn are the two auxiliary verbs that you need. So this lesson is about that one, hebben. By the way, before I continue, please like and subscribe so you will not miss any lessons from now on. Okay, so let's discuss some of the tenses that you will use this verb in. So I will explain to you the present tense, simple past tense, also known as imperfectum, present perfect, also known as perfectum, and a little bit about past perfect tense, which is also known as plusquamperfectum. Okay, so how to use this word hebben. It means to have, so you have something, that means je hebt iets. If I would say I have something, then I will say ik heb iets. So the first person singular is heb, ik heb. And the first person plural is hebben, wij hebben, we have. We have a red car, wij hebben een rode auto. Then the second person, which is you, in Dutch that is jij, is pronounced as jij hebt. So we need an extra T. But there's something very interesting about that, because if you reverse those two words to make it a question, the T goes away. So in a question form, this is heb jij tijd voor mij? Do you have time for me? Jij hebt iets voor mij. You have something for me. So take note of that T. Second person in plural is jullie. So in English that is you, and second person plural in Dutch is jullie, jullie hebben. Right? So that's the same as the basic full verb hebben. Third person is hij, zij, het, which is he, she, it, and also any noun that you will need the third person for, and that is heeft. So hij heeft een mooie fiets. That means he has a beautiful bike. And the bicycle has a beautiful saddle. De fiets heeft een mooie zadel. And in plural, third person is zij. So don't confuse it with she, because zij is also plural in the third person. Is also the complete verb hebben. Zij hebben vandaag vrij. That means they are off work today. So if you're talking about the word to be off work, that the Dutch word for that is vrij hebben. Ik heb vrij. I am off work or off school. Okay, so that is the present tense. Let's talk about the simple past tense. So hebben is an irregular verb. That means in the past tense it changes sound, right? And this is very similar to English, because in English we have I have, and in the simple past tense I had. And that is exactly the word in Dutch, in the simple past tense. That is ik had. Ik had gisteren geen tijd. Yesterday I didn't have time. So ik had is first person singular. In the simple past tense, first person plural is wij hadden. So there's a D-E-N placed after it. So why do we need the extra D? Because otherwise the pronunciation would have been hadden, and that is incorrect. So to keep the pronunciation correct, we have to put an extra D, so the pronunciation becomes hadden. Wij hadden gisteren vrij. We were off work yesterday. Second person, that is you, jij had. And also third person singular is had. Hij had. So in the simple past tense, the first person is had. And the plural version of that is hadden. So it's the same for everyone. Okay, then let's talk about present perfect, also known as perfectum. So that is in English, that is I have had, right? So this is where it becomes interesting because the verb hadden is also an auxiliary verb that you will need in combination with the verb hadden. So it's exactly the same as in English because I would say I have had, it's both the same verb, right? So in Dutch, ik heb gehad. So the only difference in Dutch is that in the second verb, in this example, you need the extra ge. So we need that extra part in every case of the present perfect. So first person, singular, ik heb een blauwe auto gehad. I have had a blue car. Wij hebben een blauwe auto gehad. So the first word hebben is the auxiliary verb, hebben, and then gehad with the ge. So wij hebben iets gehad. We have had something. Second person, jij hebt gehad. Jij hebt een mooie fiets gehad. You have had a nice bicycle or beautiful bicycle. Jullie, that is second person plural, jullie hebben gehad. And the third person, hij heeft gehad. Right, so because heeft is the third person singular of the verb hebben, so you need that form to create the present perfect tense of the verb hebben. Okay, maybe it sounds complicated, but keep re-listening this and keep practicing so you will get it, because this is particularly interesting and complicated because you have twice the same verb that you need, hebben and hebben, to make it present perfect. And a little bit about the past perfect tense. That is the first verb, the auxiliary verb is also in the past tense. So that is had gehad. In English, I had had. Right, so ik had iets leuks gehad. I had something nice. Right, so if you place the first verb of these two verbs in the past tense, then you have the past perfect tense, also known as plusquamperfectum. Okay, keep practicing this. If you have some questions, let me know in the comments and I'll see you in the next lesson. Is the auxiliary, oh my god, auxiliary,